Hey everyone, Pat here. I am just hopping on to say that I'm officially back in action. I'll talk about where I've been at the end of the video, but I just want to hop right into things. I've got a really fun video planned for this week. Marc he is a sound designer and composer from Munich, Germany, and he is my go-to guy. I wanted to give you guys a glimpse into how a professional goes about sound designing and composing projects. Marc hit me up a few months ago, I guess, sort of when I started doing the whole YouTube thing. We have worked on a couple projects together now. Marc did everything on the Onitsuka Tiger project, all the sound design, as well as my latest spec for Bonnie.
That's what Bonnie represents. We are all outcasts.
He did the composing and the sound designing for that, and he's just awesome to work with. Like I said, a proper professional. And I wanted to give you guys a glimpse into his workflow and how I work with sound designers as a director. So there's a fun little interview, and he does his own little breakdown on the Bonnie project, which I know was a while ago now. Yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. It's really fun. It was an awesome conversation. It's always great talking with Marc, and I'll shoot it on over to that interview with Marc right now. We are here with the main man, Marc Hinrichsmeyer, my sound designer, composer that I've been working with for the last couple of months. And Marc, thanks for jumping on. I just wanted to quickly intro you. You've been working on the last 3 projects, and it's been a blast, dude.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me.
Yeah, bro.
And yeah, we met. I just sent out an email to you because I discovered your YouTube videos, and I think the first video I watched was the ice hockey documentary you did, and yeah, we went from there and did a whole couple of projects together.
Yeah, man, it was such perfect timing because we had that project, the Onitsuka Tiger thing, and when you sent me your stuff, I was just starting YouTube too. It was only a few. The Drexel hockey thing was one of the first videos I posted, and then the week after that was the first ever breakdown I ever did. Yeah, you reached out to me and you just sent me your website, and I was like, holy shit, dude, this guy is he knows what he's doing. So working with you has been awesome, and it's been a ton of fun. I direct obviously and do a ton of my own editing, but having somebody like you that knows sound, I always would sound design all my own stuff too, but the stuff you do is next level, dude. So I'm pumped to have you on to talk about your process. I guess take me through, first of all, what you do, day to day, what your job is, and kind of how you got into, sound design and composing and all that stuff.
Yeah, so how I got into it is I've done music all my life. I started in elementary school having piano lessons, and one day I discovered electronic music production, and then I went to uni and we did a lot of sound recording, but one semester we had one class on sound design and also on-set sound, and that's kind of how I fell in love with it, making especially making music to pictures super fun, and it's a whole different way of thinking about music, having something in front of you and trying to get the emotion across.
Yeah,
that's a super fun thing to do. And the same with sound design, doing Foley and doing sound effects for pictures, a super fun activity to do. Yeah. And then after school, I just decided to try and go for it, become a freelancer in that field.
Nice.
And yeah, that's what I'm still trying to do.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You're from Germany, so you're from Munich, Germany. You grew up there pretty much your whole life, right?
All my life, yeah.
Nice. So what's it like working with some stupid Americans over here across the pond?
I mean, it's a bit difficult with the time difference, but other than that, it's super fun. It's super easy to hop on a Zoom call and talk about everything.
Kind of the way we work together has worked out great. It's we'll jump on a Zoom call normally whenever I have an idea for the project. Normally we'll kind of get either we'll have shot it already or we're about to shoot it, and kind of we jump on a call, talk about the concept, and then like the main thing is getting the project to a picture lock. So that was like my last week's video about how you get a project to picture lock so you can then send it off to Sound and Color. So like a lot of times like people on YouTube I feel like are doing like the one-man band thing where they're doing everything. But like in our space where we have like so many collaborators and stuff, it's definitely like a different workflow. So for us, I guess I can like go through that is I will hit you up and be like, hey, we have this thing picture locked, or here's like a rough cut to give you an idea. I'll send you references. I'll send you like whatever it is that might be helpful for you to start either composing or to think of sound ideas. And then we also use Frame.io, which has been helpful.
Yeah, I feel like Frame.io is like the most helpful thing for like exactly putting feedback. Or sending back and forth feedback.
Yeah.
And like knowing exactly like the time code where
exactly.
the thing happens, you mentioned. Yeah.
Right. So like I'll upload whatever the picture lock is. I'll send you a folder of everything you need. So normally, what are the things that you look for? I guess like take me through the things that like are essential to a sound designer. Like what do you need from a director to like do your job properly?
Well, first of all, the picture locked video, and like not super high quality, so my Ableton program doesn't crash all the time. And then I also need like everything you recorded on set, like mainly the dialogue or the voiceover or whatever like was there. And then all the reference sounds you put into your project already, like the rough sound design I guess you did when editing. And the last thing would be like, if I'm doing the music, I need like a few reference tracks to know like what the emotion is and where it's headed, or like how the energy level of the music should be like. Or if we are using like pre-made music, like I need the exact location where to put it in and what part of the song to put in. And that makes it like super easy to like start working on it and doing my own sound design on top.
So it was cool that we found each other because we're both in similar spaces and like points I feel like in our career. We're both trying to just like build up our portfolio. So like all this spec stuff that we're doing, all these like passion projects, it's been really cool to connect and like just work on stuff and like make cool stuff. I feel like to advance, and like I feel like I talk about it a lot on my channel, but it's like to advance you just got to make the work. You just got to do it and like make good stuff. So talk about like what you want to do as a sound designer, composer. Like what's the dream, I guess?
The dream would be like to do a lot of music for commercials. And I especially would love to do like a lot of car commercials, because there's like so many different routes you can take. It can be like super dark and moody, and it can be super energetic or classical, or that's like a lot of there's a lot of variety in that. And also like sports stuff like Nike, as you said, would also be super fun to do in the future.
Sweet. So I think that about wraps up this little interview. Again, I appreciate you jumping on with me. It's been like a ton of fun working with you. It's so cool to like work with somebody that's completely like almost across the world. Like that's sick. We've never met in person before. I was like, oh, I got to make it out to Germany sometime and we got to do like a proper meetup. In closing, I think your breakdown is going to be like really cool for people to see and like understand that side of what goes into the filmmaking and sound design part from a professional, from somebody that does just that, which is really cool. Yeah, dude. I appreciate you hopping on, man.
All right, let's roll camera. Camera speeds. Bonnie is a French word. It means outcast. I used to think it was weird to be an outcast. It's important when you're being yourself to just be authentic and be unapologetic about it. That's what Bonnie represents. We are all outcasts. Sometimes it's scary. Sometimes there's fog. Sometimes there's not clarity. I dreamed about this. I dreamed about it. I rehearsed it. I became it. And that's why we're here today. My name is Malco, and this is my brand, Bonnie.
So I will go over the sound design and the music for the Bonnie fashion film. And I will start by talking about the essentials, like all the tools I'm using. The first and most important thing is, of course, a decent microphone. And the one I always recommend is the Shure SM57, because it's like the industry standard, I would say. Then the second thing would be having a decent sound library. I use Soundly a lot, which is a subscription service where you can get unlimited sounds each month. And another great thing about Soundly is having this waveform down here, where you can pick out the parts you like, highlight them, and just pull them into your project. Right here, for example, and that's just super fast way of going about finding sounds and using them right away. And the third thing is having a DAW, a digital audio workstation, or just your editing software if you're a filmmaker, just to have a place where you can layer sounds and put effects on sounds, make everything sound nice and shiny. And yeah, I'm using Ableton Live, which is a music production software. And yeah, that's just where I learned all the basics of music production, where I'm most comfortable in. And yeah, let's start with the breakdown. So the stuff that I got from Pat is mainly this right here, the video file with the edited sound he did himself. So the music, the reference music is in there, the voiceover is in there, some sound effects he found himself are in there. And yeah, it's just a great reference to have and always to be able to check if everything's still in the right place. Then he also gave me all the recordings of the voiceover right here and the dialogue at the beginning, and some room tone as well, which is always great to have to fill in gaps between sections of the voiceover. Yeah, and then he also gave me the sound effects he put into his edit, and I used them somewhere down in those two folders. And let's go over the dialogue real quick. So the first two sentences of the dialogue were from the crew, so they were supposed to sound like they're behind the camera and like a bit like bad sounding, I guess, like really roomy and not super close to your face. So I got rid of a lot of the low end and a lot of the high end and put this plugin called Place It by Soundly on, which can put like spaces onto sounds. So here it sounds like a group room in this case. It has a lot of great presets, and I feel like it's one of the easiest ways to just place the sound in a room. Yeah, okay. Then we have the voiceover. We had like a little bit of an issue with onset noise. Like there was this fair noise from the camera, I think, but wasn't too big of an issue. We just kind of had to denoise it a lot and kind of hide it inside, like with all the ambience and stuff. But yeah, in context it sounds like this.
It's important when you're being yourself to just be authentic and be unapologetic about it. That's what Bonnie represents.
Yeah, for the voiceover it looks like I did a lot of effects down here, but it's mainly just some EQ to clean up a lot of the lows, get rid of a lot of rumble and weird sounds, then some de-essing with Soothe 2, which dynamically removes some of the harsh S sounds and some of the 12K area, which can be really can really hurt your ear in a way. And some compression just to make the volume a bit more consistent and to get, just to make it even in the mix. And at the end I put some room on it, just to not have it completely in your face, but a bit further away. And yeah, that's it for the voiceover. One of the most important parts and in my opinion coolest shots of the whole thing was this mosaic thing, where he also says like the main slogan of the company, which is "We are all outcasts." And Pat recorded it like multiple times on set, so I also had a few different takes of it, and I just placed them around the stereo spectrum, some on the right, some on the left, and changed the pitch of some, and it ended up sounding like this.
We are all outcasts.
And there's also some echo on there, which kind of fades out a little in a like spacey way, and also the pitch gets kind of lowered at the end. Then let's continue with the ambience and the atmo, which was like pretty straightforward. We just had 3 different places where it was shot at. The studio space, then we had a quick shot outside where I put in some birds, and at the end there was this office scene where I put in some residential apartment kind of ambience, where you can also hear some city sounds from outside. So one fun thing I can show you is this part where he uses this cloth hanger thing. And yeah, especially here when he moves his sweatshirts, the sound also pans from left to right, which is like a fun addition, and it's like an ear candy kind of thing, and really fun in my opinion. And some of the Foley that I recorded myself was these trackpad sounds. There's also a bit of breathing in there, which makes it kind of more personal in this more emotional kind of scene. And then him picking up the iPad. When you hear it soloed, it kind of sounds like a cup or something, but in context it really works, I think. And then let's get to the most fun part of the sound design, the effects, like all the whooshes, all the little ear candy stuff. Let's start off with the mosaic shot again. I put in those bubbles. That was an idea by Pat, actually. They sound like this. Yeah, again, really far on the right and the left on the stereo spectrum, just to have like some separation from all the other stuff going on. Then we have a big whoosh when the scenes switch from the studio thing, from the studio scene to the outside. Oh, sorry. That consists of 3 layers, like a fire whoosh, a like classic low end kind of whoosh, and a wind sounding whoosh. Yeah, before that we have the scene with the camera flashing, which isn't in my reference video, but like it was put in afterwards to match the sound. But I have the sound for it, right here. Yeah, and the main part of the sound is of course this camera flashing or this shutter sound effect. But I always put a whoosh beneath that, just to give it some weight, or some fire burning sounds. And yeah, I think I also distorted the whole thing a bit, just to have it give it like a unique kind of flavor. And yeah, I think that's all for the sound design, so let's move on to the music. Pat had this really cool sounding reference track that he gave me, which was Kid Cudi's song Surfing, and I can play a little bit for you of it. Yeah, this has like this cool kind of triplet-y swinging groove and a bass line, which was also really a big point of reference for me. And after I heard that, I was kind of searching for songs that had a similar vibe, maybe one a bit modern. I found this song by Ennio, German artist. Ein Dämon besetzt mein Herz, wo kommen die Stimmen her? And this classic by the Black Keys. Alright. References are always good to have, just to like when you feel stuck, you can always just listen and find some elements that you can kind of incorporate into your own thing. And so I started with the drums and the bass, and yeah, kind of incorporated the overall feel of the reference track without like copying it too much, and of course using different sounds. Yeah. So for me, the most important part was to highlight this outfit change sequence right here. It looks like this, and I put in this drum fill. That kind of highlights this and gives like an emphasis on the one again, where he is kind of dancing around and this shadow effect happens. And yep, then we have the instruments, where I try to play off this Outcast theme again, just using a bit unusual sounds, going a bit out there with the harmony, and like not being too like standard sounding, I would say. Yeah, together it all sounds something like this. Yeah, and you probably just noticed a little change in volume, and that's the sidechain compression, which means that every time the voiceover is playing, the music's volume gets ducked by a little bit, by like, I think in this case like 6 dB, just to make the voiceover really stand out, and that you can always be sure that it's like you're able to understand, or the viewer is able to understand what is said. And yeah, the second half of the music was a song by Malcolm, or like a beat by Malcolm, which he made a while ago. And it's like this really mellow, ambient, cool soundscape. And yeah, I can play you a little bit of it. Yeah, I think that's like super fitting to the whole late night office, being creative and being a kind of contemplative. At the end I put some effects on the whole thing, like on the master of sound design and music. So the main thing was soothe, which tames some of the super harsh frequencies. Then some compression and tape saturation, which brings it all together. And a limiter, which just brings up the volume a bit to be competitive to other videos in that style. And just to, when you like scroll on Instagram, for example, that it's not like super quiet in context. Yeah, I think that's about it. So thanks again to Pat for having me on the channel, and hope to see you again soon, and peace.
Cool. So I hope you enjoyed that little breakdown from Marc. Like I said, he's the man. He's so talented. If you ever need composing or sound designing, definitely hit him up. You know, sound is such an important part of your films. And I think hearing it from somebody that specializes in it is really, really important and valuable. You know, you can gain even just a little tidbit of info. Yeah, I think that about wraps up the video itself. as for where I've been, it's been a rough couple weeks for your boy. So I posted a little thing, I think it was like 3 weeks ago now. I had to get my appendix out. Yeah, so I woke up one morning, it was like 3 a.m., and I just had these shooting pains in my stomach. And I thought it was just no big deal. I thought it was something I ate the day before. I was bedridden the entire day, and then later in the evening, it just moved to my right side. And if any of you know what appendicitis is, that was like the clearest telltale sign to just go to the ER. And I was like, no, I'm good. My parents were just like, go get it checked out, and just to be safe. So ended up in the ER, had to wait like 7.5 hours to talk to a doctor. And I did a CAT scan, and it turned out appendicitis. So it was good that we caught it early. It didn't burst, but I had to get surgery. So the next morning, got the thing taken out. I was out of the hospital within like 45 minutes of like coming to from the surgery. But then that's kind of where things like went downhill. It turned out that during the surgery, they nicked one of my arteries on the way out. They sewed me up, did everything they had to do. And then I was bleeding for 48 hours internally. I had a 12 centimeter by 12 centimeter hematoma in my stomach. So I had to go back to the hospital, and they did another surgery to remove the hematoma, suck out all the blood, and patch me up. It ended up being 3.5 liters of blood. So that's around half of my blood that was just like sitting in my stomach. It was brutal, let me tell you. But the important thing is that I'm finally on the road to recovery. I'm doing a ton better now. It was, like I said, a rough couple weeks. I felt horrible that I wasn't able to like do any work, but I just had to focus on my health and just had to get better. So thank you to all that have reached out to me. I appreciate all the support, all the love. I had a lot of amazing people surrounding me, my family, my girlfriend taking care of me. And so I'm feeling a ton better, pumped to get back to the grind. And I've got a lot of cool stuff planned. Yeah, if you made it this far, thanks for listening to me ramble. I hope you enjoyed the video and got something from Marc. Like I said, he's an awesome dude, and I'm so thankful that he jumped on with me to help me make the video. So that about wraps things up, I think, for this week. I will see you next week, and I'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. And as always, I will see you next time. Peace.